Welcome to today's edition of 3 Minute Halacha. The Shulchan Aruch in Siman Reish Ayin Vav Sif Gimel writes that on Shabbat, before Musaf, one can take a snack of some fruit, for example, or even baked goods limited to the quantity of a kibetza, about 2 ounces. The reason for this is because we want to make sure that a person doesn't eat a Sudat Keva, a real meal, and thereby forget to daven Musaf. Later poskim, however, look at this halacha and debate whether or not the Shulchan Aruch would also require you to first say Kiddush before eating the snack. Most authorities, including the Mishnah Berurah, the Chidah, the Kaf HaChaim, and others, maintain that one must first recite Kiddush before eating, even in that case. Thus, for example, if a shul wanted to schedule a recess for after Torah reading before the beginning of Musaf and people wanted to eat something, they must first recite Kiddush. However, there is an opinion of the Chesed Lalafim that the obligation to recite Kiddush doesn't even take effect after Shachrit, but only after Musaf. Therefore, if a person wishes to eat before Musaf, he can do so without reciting Kiddush. Of course, this applies only after you already started to daven after Shachrit, because one is not allowed to eat in the morning before davening at all. Halacha follows the majority opinion, requiring one to recite Kiddush if he wishes to eat before Musaf. This halacha has ramifications not only for Kiddush, but even for those who have the habit to allow a Balkore to drink some water in between aliyahs. Since there's a requirement of Kiddush after Shachrit, even drinking water would be prohibited. Rabbi Avaji Yosef was lenient, relying on the opinion of the Chesed Alafim, and when necessary allowed someone to take a small drink. Or Rav Hershel Shechter is not, and rules that after Shachrit and before Kiddush, even a drink of water is prohibited, even for a bar mitzvah boy, for example, who may have difficulty while laning. Regarding the amount that can be eaten after a Kiddush is recited and before Musaf, Rav Shlomo Zalman did say that nowadays, because we have fixed times for Musaf, you'd be allowed to eat a little bit more than that small amount of mezonot, and it's quoted in the Shmirat Shabbat Gilchata in the 3rd chapter. Another issue would be Kohanim, who if they ate a minimum at pre-Musaf Kiddush, if they had any wine or liquor, would be prohibited to duchen. In Israel, this is a real problem because they duchen every Shabbos. In the diaspora, that's the reason why on Simchas Torah, when we do make Kiddush after laning and before Musaf, the Kohanim will duchen at Shachrit. Even when Kiddush is made before Musaf, it should be recited once again when a person goes home and eats the Shabbos lunch in order to have Kiddush b'makom suda with part of the proper meal. And of course, while there is a halachic basis to allow a pre-Musaf Kiddush, this is only speaking of a case where no laning or davening is missed in order to make Kiddush. However, if someone leaves davening to make Kiddush, as unfortunately happens in some of the infamous Kiddush clubs, that would be totally prohibited.